There's a reason why so many men today feel lost, distracted, and weak. It's not because they lack opportunity. It's not because they lack intelligence or talent. It's because they've been seduced by comfort, enslaved by pleasure. Pleasure used to be a reward. Now it's a lifestyle. We live in a world where everything is designed to keep you satisfied, entertained, and numb. You don't even have to leave your bed to experience the illusion of life. You can scroll, watch, swipe, and consume endless stimulation. And each hit of pleasure feels harmless. Just one more video, one more bite, one more hour. But each small indulgence chips away at your willpower, your discipline, your soul. The modern man doesn't die in battle anymore. He dies slowly, surrounded by comfort. He dies with his phone in his hand and his potential left unfulfilled. Pleasure is the drug that doesn't look like a drug. It doesn't destroy your body overnight. It destroys your mind over time. It dulls your edge, your hunger, your focus. The modern man has been trained to seek instant gratification in everything. Food that's ready in minutes, entertainment that's endless, validation that comes with likes and notifications. But every time you give in to easy pleasure, you trade strength for weakness. You become dependent on things that don't challenge you, that don't build you. You become a slave to the lowest parts of your nature, the parts that crave comfort and fear discomfort. That's the tragedy of modern life. Men have forgotten that discipline is the foundation of freedom. They chase happiness, not realizing that the pursuit of pleasure is what keeps them miserable. You weren't made for comfort. You were made for struggle, for purpose, for conquest, for creation. A man without struggle is a man without meaning, and a man without meaning will always look for pleasure to fill the void. The more you chase comfort, the weaker you become. Because comfort doesn't demand effort, and without effort there is no growth. The man who avoids pain ends up living in quiet despair, wondering why nothing feels real anymore. The modern world tells you you're free. Free to do what you want, eat what you want, watch what you want, sleep with who you want. But freedom without discipline is just another kind of slavery. You think you're choosing pleasure, but pleasure is choosing you. You think you're in control, but you're being controlled by your own desires. Every time you reach for something that makes you feel good instantly, you reinforce a habit that weakens your will. The man who cannot say no is not free. He is a prisoner to his impulses. And a prisoner who doesn't know he's trapped is the easiest to control. They keep you addicted, not to drugs, but to dopamine. To sugar, to screens, to sex, to comfort. They keep you chasing the next hit so you never stop to ask why you feel so empty. Pleasure numbs the mind. It gives you the illusion of satisfaction while quietly hollowing you out from the inside. It's not that pleasure itself is evil. It's that constant pleasure destroys contrast. Without contrast, you forget what real satisfaction feels like. When everything is easy, nothing has value. When everything is pleasurable, nothing feels fulfilling. That's why men today can have everything, yet still feel nothing. Once upon a time, men were tested. By nature, by battle, by responsibility. A man knew his worth by what he could endure. But now, the modern man avoids challenge. He avoids pain. He avoids responsibility. He wants results without effort, respect without earning it, and love without commitment. He wants pleasure without price. That mindset has killed the masculine spirit. It has created a generation of men who are comfortable being mediocre. Men who think ambition is toxic and struggle is optional. But every man knows deep down, there's something inside that wants to fight, to build, to conquer. That instinct hasn't died. It's just been buried under layers of comfort and convenience. You don't need another escape. You need a challenge. You need something to bleed for, something to fight for, something to wake up for. Because without that, pleasure will eat you alive. The man who spends his life chasing pleasure will end up exhausted by it. He'll reach the end and realize that all those moments of comfort added up to nothing. Just noise, just numbness, just time wasted. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about power. When you deny yourself something you crave, you don't lose anything. You gain control. You prove to yourself that you're not a slave to your urges. That's real strength. You want to feel powerful? Start by saying no. Say no to distractions. Say no to laziness. Say no to instant gratification. The more you deny yourself, the more powerful you become. Because the world runs on men who can't say no, and it's controlled by the few who can. Restraint builds confidence. It sharpens your mind. It creates energy. A man who controls his pleasure controls his destiny, because every indulgence has a cost, and every sacrifice creates strength. When you stop chasing pleasure, you start chasing meaning, and meaning is what gives your life direction. Modern men have forgotten that pain is sacred. Pain is the language of growth. It's the signal that you're breaking your limits, not your spirit. Pain purifies you. It strips away your illusions. It shows you who you really are when there's no comfort left to hide behind. The man who avoids pain avoids himself. He never learns what he's capable of. He never experiences the deep satisfaction that comes from overcoming something real. You think pleasure will make you happy, but it won't. Pleasure is temporary. Pain transforms you. When you start to embrace discomfort, waking up early, training hard, studying when you don't want to, you stop being ruled by feelings. You start to act out of principle, and that's when life begins to change. Because happiness isn't found in feeling good. It's found in becoming good. Without purpose, discipline feels like punishment. But when you have a mission, discipline becomes devotion. Pleasure is easy, purpose is hard, but only one of them will make you proud when you look in the mirror. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you're strengthening your spirit. You're building the foundation of a life worth living. You're becoming the kind of man who doesn't crumble under pressure, who doesn't run from responsibility. Purpose gives pain meaning. It turns suffering into progress. And once you've tasted that kind of fulfillment, pleasure loses its power. The world doesn't need more comfortable men. It needs men who are alive. Men who can endure discomfort. Who can hold their ground when everything around them collapses. That's the man you're meant to be. Not addicted, not distracted, not comfortable but clear, focused, unbreakable. The greatest battle you'll ever fight isn't with other men. It's with yourself. Every day, your lower self calls for ease, comfort, pleasure, and your higher self whispers for discipline, control, purpose. You decide which one wins, moment by moment. Most men lose that battle because they fight it unconsciously. They live in reaction, not intention. They don't even realize that every choice, to scroll, to sleep in, to procrastinate, is a vote for weakness. But when you become aware, everything changes. You see the pattern, you see the trap. And awareness is the first weapon of the warrior. You can't win against pleasure unless you understand its game. Pleasure wants you impulsive, emotional, reactive. Discipline wants you calm, focused, deliberate. That's why true strength is quiet. It's not loud, it's not glamorous. It's the ability to act with control when everything inside you screams for comfort. That's what separates men who rise from men who rot. You can't destroy pleasure, but you can reclaim power over it. You do that by changing your relationship with it. Use pleasure as a reward, not a refuge. Let it remind you of what you've earned, not what you're escaping from. Because when you earn your pleasure through effort, it no longer controls you. It strengthens you. The man who works hard, who endures, who sacrifices, he enjoys pleasure without guilt, because he knows he's paid the price. But the man who lives for pleasure without work feels hollow, even in the middle of indulgence, because deep down, he knows he's cheating himself. True pleasure comes from progress, from seeing yourself grow, from knowing that you're stronger today than you were yesterday. That's the kind of pleasure that lasts. You want to rise above weakness? Start by simplifying your life. Remove the distractions that drain your focus. Set boundaries around the things that waste your energy. Rebuild your habits from the ground up. Wake up early, train your body, discipline your mind, protect your attention like it's sacred, because it is. You don't need to live like a monk. You just need to live with awareness. You need to remember that every decision either strengthens or weakens you. Pleasure whispers lies. It says you deserve it. But the truth is, you deserve the man you could become if you stopped settling for cheap satisfaction. That version of you, disciplined, calm, purposeful, he's waiting on the other side of resistance. He's forged in the moments you say no to pleasure and yes to progress. Here's the paradox most people never understand. The man who chases pleasure never finds peace. But the man who embraces discipline finds joy even in hardship. Discipline is not suffering. It's self-respect. It's choosing what's right over what's easy. It's knowing you could give in, but you don't. And that feeling, that calm control, is worth more than any temporary high. Pleasure fades fast, peace endures. And peace only comes when you live in alignment with your higher self. So stop running from discomfort. Stop numbing your mind. Start facing your life. Start building the strength that no one can take from you. Because one day, you'll look back and you'll realize that everything you thought you were losing by rejecting pleasure was nothing compared to what you gained. Clarity, control, power, peace. Pleasure is the modern man's weakness, but it doesn't have to be yours. You can rise above it. You can become stronger than your urges. You can build a life where your happiness isn't dependent on stimulation, but on discipline and purpose. You just have to decide. Decide that you've had enough of being distracted, enough of being numb, enough of wasting potential. The world will keep tempting you, with comfort, with pleasure, with ease. But you must stand like a man of stone in the middle of chaos and say, "Not today." Because you are not here to be entertained. You are here to evolve. And no pleasure on earth is worth more than the strength of a man who's fully awake.